Hey, I don't think you're on your regular mic.
Let's get it. Let's go.
Hey,
Good morning, good evening, good
You're not-
afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to High Top Sports. Happy Monday. Good to see you. Finally, it is here. The college football championship has arrived. Miami Hurricanes versus the Hoosiers. Set to kick off tonight at 7:30, I believe. We got all of our bets put into place here. We're going to talk about that game, preview it a little bit. Before the Gators get themselves another defensive lineman after losing one this past weekend, we'll discuss that. And we got till Friday. Well, not us, but the ones in charge. I wouldn't even say the important people because that's not even close to true. Just the ones they decided to allow to have all the control in the college football playoff landscape have to make a decision. Are we going to 16 or even 24 playoff teams here going into 2026? If a decision is not made, we stay at 12. Hopefully no decision is made. We can have some consistency for 2 years in a row. If not, we will have 3 years of 3 even college football playoffs. And with that, how can you even have a sense of, who's the better team over the last 3 years? I don't know, because it's just changed so much. It's a different world. Obviously, there's a ton of conversations of like which team's better over the past decade. The LSU Tigers, now of course Indiana's thrown into the mix, and it's like, I mean, obviously I know you can tell, you can see what they've done to certain teams and things like that. But man, these Ohio States and Indiana teams, they had to go through gauntlets that those other teams we mentioned didn't have to. It's interesting. I'm not saying it's better. Just don't yell at me, okay? I'm just saying that the world they had to travel is much different than what that LSU team had to travel in. And then we'll talk about our Gators basketball team as they got hot this past weekend against Vandy. Hell of a game if you guys missed it. The watch party was, Cody, should I say?
you should probably turn your mic on is what you should do.
No!
Yeah.
Why don't you tell me that when we're on the show?
I tried to. You wouldn't listen. Right when you clicked it, I noticed it because I couldn't hear the music. And you just went going. Hey, the rafts, the whitewater raft. You were on.
We were here for 20 minutes.
Yeah, you didn't say a word to me for 20 minutes. I was just sitting there with my own thoughts in my own head.
I talked to you about Sam Darnold. We had a whole
for 2
conversation
seconds.
Oh, so you couldn't hear it.
So, bro, you've been doing this 5 years. You don't know if your mic's turned on or off?
I hear myself. I hear myself. I don't know why I hear myself. And you and I were talking.
It didn't sound off until you start getting animated.
And then you can't hear me as clear?
Yeah. But I don't want to interrupt you either.
Well, it's like nobody can hear me.
Oh, they heard you. Barely. Sound terrible. Somebody big probably watching the show.
I hate stream. Yeah. Like, we got a scout watching. That's why I hate the StreamYard sometimes because it constantly changes the mic for no reason at all. No reason at all.
You didn't have it muted. I mean, it wasn't like a day one fumble, but you I didn't notice till you start getting animated.
I mean, I thought it was off. But if I got an audio guy with me that can hear me, we're a team. If he sounded like crap, I would say, "Hey, Cody, I can't hear you."
I didn't notice it till you turned the music on. There
is a sense of like, "Hey, we're in here together."
Yep.
Like if I was by myself, yeah, hand up for sure. But if we're in here together, I would assume that the guy next to me.
Okay, so on the count of 3, we'll both put our hands up. Ready?
Right,
1, 2, 3. I knew you wouldn't. You SOB. You're pointing the wrong way. You're pointing the wrong. Yeah. You didn't point at yourself.
Oh yeah.
Way to start a Monday, baby.
That's how we get going.
Happy MLK Day.
Yes, sir. It's a holiday. That's right. I don't.
You'll get those.
So. No, I don't get those. So we'll. I'll be in today. Well, let's get after it. Let's have ourselves a good little show here. So we had ourselves a nice little commit. Mason Clinton from Southern Miss, once known as the Nasty Bunch, committed to the Florida Gators last night. But I didn't go live. We had the playoffs for the Bears, which was a heartbreaker. Wife was in shambles last night. Felt bad for her. It was a fun game. But anyways, that's why I didn't go live. But we got Mr. Mason Clinton shortly after our Samu. That's as far as I'm going to go saying his name. Decommitted from the University of Florida and ultimately committed to the University of Colorado. He got 6'5", 300 pounds, 2 years of eligibility left. Had 16 tackles, 4 hurries, and 1 pass deflect in 2025. Had a lot of interest from the likes of Oregon, Baylor's, and others. And he has a career 60.9 PFF grade, and a 60.9 run defense. So not sexy, but for a career, I don't hate it.
He is more established than the guy that left to
Very
Colorado. Not as big, 75 pounds lighter at 300 instead of 375.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they circle somebody. I mean, there's still like I saw something. I was scrolling my phone at 4:30 in the morning because it's my daytime and
Sure.
nothing else to do. But there was coaches, Division II coaches, actually saying hey, there's still opportunity here at the lower level. It might not be SEC, Big 10, Big 12, but there's still opportunity. We're still looking for guys. And the problem is there's a lot of guys that entered their name into the portal and then didn't get the right feedback that they thought they were going to get. And then their spot got taken, like we've talked about over and over. A lot of guys. So there's still 1,000 entries in the portal from this year alone, let alone the guys left over from last year. So
out of the 4,000, 3,000 found a home. That's impressive, I would say.
No, there's 2,000 left.
Oh, these are 1,000. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
There's 1,000 that entered just this year.
There's 4,000, I thought.
4,000 total. There's still guys left over from prior years that are just in there in the portal abyss.
Floating around, just left over.
They're in the portal abyss, yeah.
Just waiting. I mean, at some point you got to remove that, right? So it kind of doesn't inflate the numbers like it is.
Well, when they run out eligibility, yes, you would report it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I guess they're still hanging out in there. So, look, a much needed addition to the defensive line, which we've talked plenty about from this football team. I still think they're from what I was reading on a few other pages as well. There still looks. They had a guy that was set to visit on Monday that ultimately committed to Oregon, I think it was, or no, was it Oregon? Doesn't matter. He committed elsewhere. Okay, I think it was Oregon because Derek the Duck gave me shit about it. So. I didn't even realize this. We're so obviously pursuing defensive line help, which we've talked about needing some more bodies. I think a lot of people wanting more of a starter style. I don't know if that guy's in there. I don't know if that guy exists. But if we could have more guys like Mason Clinton, I would feel a lot more comfortable headed into next season with the just the depth piece of it. Anyways, again, if you could have had him plus the Samu, I would have felt really good about our defensive line from a depth perspective when we could have broke it down a little bit more. I still feel good about it. I'm excited to see what Chapman can do. Again, it was a piece of although we were excited about it last year because we had the Banks and Tyreek Sapp, I think the front seven we felt confident about because of who was returning. It was still a big concern on depth, right? That was something we spoke about, and we had to dive into that pretty quickly with Banks going down and found out pretty quickly who Brendan Bett was, and Jamar Lyons obviously stepped up. Jamar Lyons is somebody that I think continues to get overlooked. He was somebody that we didn't speak about a lot about last year. I brought him up because if you remember, he was coming off of that broken ankle injury, that gruesome injury from just 2 years ago. So could he finally have himself kind of a breakout year this year and be what he was supposed to be 2 years ago before he went down? I don't know, but I'm hoping that is the case. And Brendan Bett, another year under the Chapman system, could he be what Banks was for us? Or not necessarily, but maybe like a Cam Jackson, where had a pretty solid showing from that first year from Memphis, and then really kind of came into his own that final year, and ultimately became a fourth round draft pick. So that's what I'm hoping to see if Brendan Bett can do. And then of course you've got the youth in that room as well that that coach has been Chapman has. I want to say Matt McLeod. Yeah, that coach Chapman has been working with. So we'll see.
Yeah, and we saw what the youth did last year with McLeod and Mabachu, which we signed back. And so it's one of those things where, can the two freshmen step in and get some significant playing time?
Yeah.
I think they will. I think that this guy's probably going to be fighting for a spot on the starting defensive line, maybe second, depending on rotation. But it's one of those things where, you still wondering, like, where's your big guy? And I know that this defense isn't predicated on having a bunch of big guys, but I feel like you still need one, right?
Yeah, especially since they were trying to get the one. Like, obviously,
yeah,
they
like
have
it's not like a system thing or a non-scheme fit because they already went after a 375er.
Exactly. But again, I don't think necessarily they're done, although it does seem pretty wrapped up, and we're going into week 2 of strength and conditioning. Even Rusty Wicks posted on his Instagram. Jaden Wood's doing some squats. That was cool to see. See the boys get after it and see that they are
working out. Excited to see how that process is going to go. Again, that's a whole new world for us of them working out and how that's going to shape up. So we'll see. Adrian Raps, $2. They've been having me on evening shift, but I'm back. Welcome back, Adrian. Good morning. 40 member for 40 months, Marshall Watkins, my man. Appreciate you being part of the family. We got 240 strong. Be sure to smash the like button, subscribe. Keanu says, move Hayes Kent to DT. I mean, you could probably put him anywhere.
He's pretty athletic.
Yeah. DeAndre Robinson, who was with us, then went to North Carolina, he just committed to Oregon last night. So once a former Gator. Gregory Smith, who was a Gator, then went to also North Carolina with DeAndre Robinson, is also in the portal. Very interesting to see him. Again, the once 4-star / 3-star safety is in the portal as well. So, again, like to pick up from Mason Clinton. I think it's good. I think he's got some experience. You could see his grades weren't, they were solid. I think it's a very solid depth piece that was added, in my personal opinion. Again,
at least he had grades.
Yeah.
The one guy from Baylor didn't even have any grades. He didn't have enough eligible snaps.
I don't think neither really. DL Kaho either, I don't think has had much. So I think he's probably the second most versatile guy with playing time that we've added outside of Bruv from England.
Yeah.
Which he's technically an edge, which we assume he's going to get shifted inside.
I would assume with the edge talent that we have, he's going to get shifted inside, which I'm okay with, because if he can get pressure up the middle, that's something we haven't had in a long time. Quarterbacks hate that, pressure
Bruv?
right in the lap from Bruv.
Yeah.
So this guy
Caleb
seems
Williams
pretty
had a lot of it
athletic.
last night.
Mason Clinton seems pretty athletic too. So you can. The good thing with having a 300, 315 interior defensive guy is you can run a lot of stunts and twists, which I don't know if Kentucky does, but it's something that we've done in the past. It's something Georgia does. So it's one of those things where they can scheme it up better with a little lighter defensive lineman in the interior. You still want a big guy for, goal line and stuff like that, but it's one of those things where, teams are getting so good at the quarterback sneak / tush push. It's like, if they're fourth and inches, they're probably just going to get it.
So if you take a look at his film, Mason, they've got him playing nose tackle a lot.
Yeah, that's probably.
He
was probably a pretty big guy though for the league that he was in the
That's
Sun
what
Belt.
I'm saying. You can get away with it in the Sun Belt. So, but look, at least you got a guy that understands the position. So it may not. Again, maybe it's more of if it is a scheme fit like Seth was saying, a little more speed, a little more left to right. I don't know, but that was kind of what he was talking about. So we'll see. We'll see how it shapes up. Some big news happened or I guess not happened yet, but it's in discussion, and everybody's in shambles about it with the playoffs, about going from 12 to 16 to 24. The Big Ten went 24, the SEC went 16. And there was no agreement made. In the process of this, Trump passed an executive order that no games will be able to on a 4-hour allocated time for the Army-Navy game. And basically Andy Staples is saying this was for reason, with the intention that there would be an extension to this, meaning we would start a week early, meaning this would start during the Army-Navy game weekend, which is by itself typically. That's kind of how I took it. So basically, you guys choose to extend this football playoff, you can't have any overlap with this game. They get their own slot. There's no 3/3, what I think that's 12, I think.
Yeah.
Right. So you got to wait till 4 to start any playoff games if you do this.
Yeah.
So interesting.
That's kind of what we talked about doing though, right?
Yeah. When we were going to expand the playoffs, you would just go and start a week earlier. Yeah. And I mean, I'm pretty sure I saw a thing where it's next year, the game's a week later. Think about this. We have the games coming on tonight, the 19th of January.
Yeah.
The season ended in November.
For
the
some
season.
teams, yeah.
The regular season ended in November.
Yeah, you've eaten up almost 2 months.
Crazy.
Yeah, and it's, it was one of the better playoffs that we've had for sure.
I've eaten up 2 months.
Yeah. I don't know. What does expansion get you? More money? It's got to be the driving factor.
Yeah, everyone kind of hates it, and I understand it. I think 24 is a bit much. It's definitely over the top.
Who really got left out this year that we were crying about?
I just think the Vandy, Texas, BYU team, and I mean, you would have to do one more that I would have taken.
You just kick out the 2 G5 teams. I mean, well, what are we doing? It can't be for Notre Dame. They're not in a conference.
Oh yeah,
they don't even deserve.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
They don't even deserve to be in it. They're not in a conference. You shouldn't even be allowed in the playoffs if you're not in a conference.
Those 4 would have kicked out your two G5s if you add those 4 teams. So, look, I think 12 is fine. We've talked about it. The thing where I think they're looking at, and this part that I don't hate, is that you do have these bowl games, and it's not like teams aren't playing. So I would understand like why go to 24 if you're just adding games, but they have these games available. Like teams are still playing. Texas is playing one more game. Like all these teams we're discussing, they're all playing one more game anyways. So why not make it valuable and put some stock into it? That's kind of where my head's at. And I think where fans are frustrated, which I agree with, is if you move it to 24, I mean, it feels like it would be like you have a fantasy football. You've got a 12-man fantasy football and 10 teams make it. It's like, why even play the regular season? You're literally just playing for a bye.
24 teams. I mean, what are we gonna do? Have double March Madness? I mean, golly, 24
Yeah, I
teams.
know, it's crazy.
This thing's gonna go to. We're gonna have. If you don't make the playoffs, or if you make the playoffs, you're gonna push your spring game back.
Yeah, we're in the middle of February. 24 is crazy. Like think about it, you have a top 25 of that one team. One team's gonna be freaking out.
Yeah,
right on the bubble there. 16, I wouldn't mind. I think 12 is fine, but I wouldn't mind 16. I don't understand. I can't wrap my head around it. It has to be a money play, right?
Oh, for sure. It's all about money. It's all about what the mouse wants. What Mickey Mouse wants, Mickey Mouse gets. Okay. Don't forget about it. Don't forget about it.
Yeah.
And I just feel like, is it gonna get us better football? Like really though? Like 16 teams, is it gonna get us better playoffs? Or is it just a money pitch? Because if it's just a money pitch, I mean, how much more money do you need to make?
Yeah, Bader Gate, that's a good point too. I think there's so many problems with everything right now that it's like you make one change to one thing and it has such a layering impact.
When are you supposed to do the portal? When are you supposed to sign your class? When are coaches supposed to move? You go to 24. You thought the Lane Kiffin deal was ugly.
Oh,
just wait. Yeah. Just wait.
I mean, I don't think anything could ever get as ugly, but you're because now, again, I think that a lot of that Ole Miss was riding on was whether or not they'd make the playoffs, right? That's what kind of extended everything, and it came down to the last weekend. Well, this wouldn't have came down. They would have known they were in the playoffs. 2 weeks ago?
Okay, but what if you had what happens if you had LSU and Ole Miss in the playoffs, and the Ole Miss said he's not playing, and he goes and gives the scoop to LSU? That's not fair.
Well, LSU wouldn't have been in this predicament if they were in the playoffs.
Weird things happen. It's college football. Weird things happen. You say that now. You say that now, but weirder things have happened.
Yeah, I don't think they're firing Brian Kelly if they're in the playoffs, Cody.
Okay.
Look, you say okay, like they would have fired Brian. Like, what are we doing? You try to bait me this morning? Okay, They would have fired Brian Kelly if they were in the playoffs.
I'm just saying weird things happen. Okay, no, Brian Kelly could have went somewhere else.
No, he wasn't leaving.
I'm just not in that exact
response. That's a better response.
Not in that exact. But what happens if we have a G5 coach move up and he ends up coaching against his G5 team in the playoff? That's not fair.
Oh, that's a good point. I hate the current playoff, but going to a 10-game regular season is the only way it can work from a timeline perspective. I don't hate that. I mean, I love my 12 weeks of college football, but you think about it, we take away, it's longer than because it's not 12 weeks because we have two bye weeks, but let's say it's 10 games, right? So you have 9 conference games right now from an SEC and Big Ten perspective. And then now those three non-conference are going to become absolute cupcakes. Like they're preseason games at this point. And then there's one non-conference conference game that would be good, more than likely for most people, that rivalry game for a lot, right? Which is us versus Florida State, Clemson, South Carolina. But then again, that one non-conference game, how much weight does it have anymore? Would it play a factor? I don't know. I feel like they're trying to probably get as close as to the NFL as possible, maybe with this kind of move. But if you go to 10, then it kind of shuffles everything up. But then you're starting. If you go to 10, do you start at the same time, and then now that Thanksgiving weekend becomes the first weekend of a bowl game, or is that when you would start?
Well, you would have to, I think. I just don't know what's wrong with 12. Like, why are they so excited to get more playoffs?
That is true. Like we're debating and discussing something that. Like, why?
What's wrong with it?
It's not broken. Finally, we don't feel. The only thing that's broken is your
portal.
Your need to put in G5 teams is the only thing that's broken about it.
Like, you're just going to make the college timeline worse for the coaches.
I'm pretty sure Division II does 24 though, and it works out pretty well. I think that's part of where that's coming from. Where that's stemming from, if I had to guess. Is that there are some success. Look, the only thing that I do agree with it is because, again, we have these random bowl games now. But the thing with the bowl games is you can literally just plug them in whenever. There's no, rhyme or reason to it because it is the last game. So you have the sporadic scheduling that works because of, there is no need for consistency. Like, you have a game every single day from, the 20th to the end of the year because, 80% of those games are one and done, and they don't have any impact on anything.
Yeah, and somebody just said in the chat that they'd like to see the teams cut down on the cupcake games. You gotta understand you can't play a total gauntlet, and then on the other hand, for those programs to survive, they got to play these big teams. That's the most of their revenue, to come play big teams. That's what supports their football program.
Yeah, they get I'm usually $1 million to 1.5 to come play these games, so they're huge. They love playing them. And it's helped a lot of these teams grow. And UCF, think about it. They used to be a team that would get paid to go play Florida. That's some of these teams have taken advantage of those opportunities and have grown. And now look, they're in a Power 4 conference because of it. USF will probably be another one that's trying to do the same exact thing. So the idea of what college football, what made it college football is slowly getting ripped away from it, but that's just kind of how it is.
And why is it just the Big Ten and SEC that has
all the power?
Well, who gave them the magic wand?
Well, there's no ruler in place. So when they can go and gobble up teams and buy eyes and buy TV contracts, they get the power. But there's no commissioner facilitating anything. So you've got two conference commissioners that have the power that are driving all the noise. That's why no one else has a say in this. Yeah, you have Fox and ESPN that control all the TV rights. So,
yeah, I just don't like it. It's.
Look, here's has to be down to it. We all know this. Whatever they feed us, we're going to eat it, and they know it, so they can get away with it.
Well, yeah, we're still going to watch it. It's not like I'm boycotting, but it's like maybe there needs to be a board, and having the representative of each have an equal say, because it affects everybody.
Yeah, I like this. I was not my fault. What about 16-team playoff? 14 from each Power 4 play in for spot 3 and 4. 1 and 2 goes to the championship game, and G6 has their own playoff. Again, I don't think if they go to 16, I think you have to kick out the G5 or G6 or whatever it is. Welcome.
I just don't know why we're trying to force feed something that's not broken. It wasn't egregious. Kick the G5 teams out, let them have their own playoff, and let's roll.
Well, and again, I just say that's why it's loud. It's like, look, I don't think that the Big Ten and SEC care about kicking them out. So I don't. Yeah.
So who makes the rule? I guess
I think what they saw is that, hey, this year was great. I mean, I can only imagine the influx from 4 playoff games to 12, or not, excuse me. 12 playoff. Well, there's 12 spots, so there's 6 playoff games. Just the how many more playoff games there are from what it was when it was a 4-team playoff. I can only imagine how much fatter their checkbooks have gotten because of it. They're like, we could just add 12 more, and look what we do with our money.
Yeah, because
you know what I mean?
the first ones are at home, which is a big profit for the home team.
Yeah,
The first playoff games are at home, so that's an extra home game. That's got to be how many millions of dollars?
Those are huge. Could you imagine? So let's say they switch it to 12 or to 16 or even 24. I don't know what would cause it to get into starting in November. If they do all that and they have the first round of playoffs, that Thanksgiving weekend instead of rivalry weekend, that would be kind of nuts.
But then you lose rivalry weekend unless you bump it back a week.
Well, yeah, you just bump it back a week. Yeah, you just don't have it.
I hope so because that's.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it comes down to scheduling, right? If you have 10 games, now if you're able to still control that non-conference schedule, the problem is like Notre Dame and USC, they're rivalries. They're not doing it anymore. So that's gone. Michigan and Ohio State's in conference rival, so that wouldn't impact the last game. Not every rival has a
Florida FSU wouldn't happen then.
Well, that's what I'm getting at, is that there isn't like a consistency across the board of like, hey, that out of conference game, it's got to be a rival game or a good game, because not everybody has. I mean, I'm sure we could find a rival for Ohio State and Michigan, all that stuff that's worth a damn. But maybe you just you do 10, and that fourth that one out of conference has to be a Power 4 team. And I get not every Power 4 team is looked at equally, but that's exhausting. I mean, like, you can't do that. So someone's going to get, Purdue and Northwestern. It is what it is.
Or we could just keep it the way it is.
Good.
Like, it's not broke. Like, the only thing that's broke is the timeline, is the G5 and the timeline. I mean, I just don't understand what the push is minus financial revenue. I know that's the thing that drives everything.
That drives everything. Yeah, nothing else really matters, to be quite honest with you. It's not like it's a betterment for the sport.
Like, at some point, like, can somebody just stand up and say enough is enough?
I mean, I ask you though, would you be mad if we had more playoff games?
I just want it the way it is for 1 year. Can we get 1 year with no change? I mean, this thing has changed rapidly. We've been on. How long have you been doing high top? 5 years?
Yeah, I think it's going on year 5. Yeah,
I've been on here for 3. It's never stayed the same in the last 5 years. We have had change after change after change after change after change after change, and
we had the Final Four. Nothing was different about that, right? We had the Final Four for at least 2 of the years.
Yeah.
Because Holly's last year was when it was the Final Four.
Yes, because of the FSU debacle.
Yeah, and it was the Final Four up until that. And so for the last 2 years, it's been. I mean, it's been 12, but there was an altercation to the 12 of how it was rolled out. So it had a small change.
It's been a monumental change though, with NIL, with rev share, with paying high schoolers now, with just transfer portal.
The whole sport has changed. Yeah, it's the second year for 12 team, but the last year who got a bye was changed. So it still changed to the format because of who received a bye and who was guaranteed an in.
It just feels like that something that was so established for so many years, we're losing it by the day. Like, you look up and a little piece of college football is dead. And I'm not trying to sit on here and cry to the sad soapbox, but it's like, guys, when can we just get some stability here in college football?
Yeah, I think like we keep saying we kind of hit this narrative like, oh, college football is dying, but I mean the eyeballs are as big as it's ever been. I mean, people continue to turn on the TV screen. It's not like if you want to talk about sports dying, the MLB is going to have a huge issue this year with this Dodger situation. The NBA has genuinely lost eyeballs. College football hasn't. We're disgruntled, but it's a weird kind of disgruntled because the sport continues to deliver. Even though off the field antics have made us frustrated from what it's like, not what we love. It's again, the numbers are still there. Like nobody's not watching college football. You know what I mean? That's my point.
So you just keep going into the abyss until you have to make a course correct because you mess it up.
Well, the every decision thus far has been more profitable and like again, if you're running a business and with every decision it makes it grow, yeah, you keep driving that direction. Again, you're disgruntled, yet here we are discussing it. I mean, I've always said that the NFL does a phenomenal job because you talk about them almost year round, right? They've got the perfect model in the sense of like there's very zero downtime. College football has tapped into it tenfold.
Oh yeah,
I feel like the only thing they've kind of lacked up to be quite honest with you, because the seasons are so overlapping, is like their playoff season. It's probably the slowest time from a football standpoint because it's so far and few. It's so like expanded that you kind of lose your thought. You have the portal though to distract you during all of it. But I feel like we talk more about everything but things on the football field during this time than what's actually happening on the football field because like bro, we played 12 days ago. What do we? You know what I mean? Like. How can you even, and now like the NFL, like they had great games this weekend outside the San Fran game that they'll talk, and the Bo Nix news, they'll talk about this for the next week, and then it'll be fueled. You know what I mean? Like you have like an appetite for something, you discuss it, and then it gets fed, and then you have another appetite for it. You can only preview a championship game for so long. Now I know the Super Bowl obviously has a 2-week period, but it's like a healthy like. Okay, let's go have the Pro Bowl. Let's talk about who had a great season, and then we'll it's kind of like their Heisman week, right? It's like it's a nice kind of like refresher. Like, all right, let's go do it.
Yeah, it's interesting because it feels like in some degrees that the NCAA in college football has lapped the NFL. Our portal is better than their free agency by a mile. Our National Signing Day is probably, I mean, it's not as big as the NFL draft, but I mean, it's getting up there.
So I don't know. I like that thought. I don't know if I could say it's better. We think it's better because of the quantity, because it's busier. That doesn't mean it's better, right? Because when I think better, I'm thinking splashy. I'm thinking like healthy moves. It's crazy to watch. But yeah, the NFL may not always have massive free agencies because guys sign actual legitimate contracts and teams run their teams properly. And there's from time to time where we have years where there's like 3 or 4 dudes that it's like, man, this is going to be a huge move either which way. But also, too, teams are dumb. They'll sign their franchise quarterback and do certain things. They have trade deadline, obviously, that plays a little bit of a factor. But I guess you can still say it's better because at least there is more like viable movement that's kept track of, but it's just hard because it's more slop than good, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, it just feels like when it's on fire, you're just drinking from a fire hose. Yeah, things are just happening all the time, and then you get these like the Washington quarterback debacle that we talked about for 2 days, and you know, it's just the moves are wild.
Part is true. Yeah, there's more chaos.
when we were on Ball Woods watch, I mean, we lost sleep over that. I mean, we
that's
ran the numbers.
Agency move, right? Like that's like
we were trying to run the numbers and like, oh, well, maybe if he doesn't come back, we can go get this, you know. So I think in that aspect, I mean, I think college and we're just watching Florida, like. I could only imagine like the other teams, what their podcasters are doing. They're watching it just as hard and heavy. And I think that the portal's a little bit better, especially now that it's one portal. You got to get in, you got to get out, you got to sign your guys.
Just sign, yeah.
Yeah, just to resign too. Yeah, it's wild. But you know, with just for 1 year, I feel like let's not change any rules. Let's not get crazy. Let's just try to sit down, relax, and enjoy the college football.
Yeah, I mean, there's gonna. I mean, the problem is there's so many holes, and they've changed it so drastically that there's gonna be still continue to be changes until it's kind of dialed in. I mean, hell, the NFL even changes every year. Nothing that's. I mean, not from a playoff perspective, but there's rules that change. Let's talk about tonight's game. Let's get into it. Let's talk about, speaking of playoffs, we have a championship game going on. That's just what's crazy is we've had like what we just did. We've had 40 minutes of football. Of conversation talk. Part of it was obviously just transfer portal. Yeah, so no, it backs my point. We talked for 40 minutes and we could have kept going if we really wanted to. Everything about there's a championship football. It's the Super Bowl of the college football playoffs, and we talked everything but that for the first 40 minutes of the show. Absolutely crazy. Love this graphic here. I use the Dodge Ram graphic because obviously we just started our new High Top Sports NASCAR channel, and so this is a small plug for that channel as well. And I thought, and Dodge Ram is really dialed into this. Speaking. Kind of quick little, sidebar convo. The TKO group is investing in WWE and UFC, and they have a deal now with Dodge. So they're promoting this big Dodge challenge show where they have 10 drivers that are going to drive for the final spot for the new Dodge truck. It's going to be the Craftsman Truck Series, first year back since they left years ago. And just love it. I think I mean, they're going to crush it. Their marketing is going to be huge. So anyways, great little graphic here to display the two teams that are at it. I thought it looked really cool as well, too. Got ourselves a game tonight, and I saw this comment, and I wanted to get your thoughts on it, Cody. Is he right? Or is he, where'd he go? Miami winning is better for football because of the conference bias and narratives. Now, obviously, he's a Hurricane fan, so that's a biased comment. But do you agree with him? Is he right on that? Because just above that, Money said if Indiana wins, then the Big Ten is the best conference now. It's no longer the SEC, which you and I had a heated debate earlier on in the season, and I agree with him. I thought that if a Big Ten team were to win it again, I mean, you have to just, bend the knee. Now, here's my thing.
I rather bend the knee. Rather bend the knee.
Here's my thing, right? And this is going to be my little spin of it all. When the SEC was dominating, people refused to announce that the SEC was the best. It was the reason why SEC was the best because it was SEC bias and that we were fed playoff spots and Bama this and Georgia that, and it was led by 2 or 3 teams. So nobody ever would be, hey, you know what? That's the better conference. Everybody complained that it wasn't the better conference for whatever reason, no matter how much we dominated. Everybody else said it. As an SEC guy, if they win, the Big Ten is the best conference at this moment. By the SEC, by me being an SEC representation, being able to admit that, just shows that the SEC is still better. But because we can admit that, hey, someone's better. That's kind of the way of life. But no, I don't think that Miami winning is better for football because of the conference bias. The ACC championship was 7-4. I don't know if them winning helps this is the weird one where it's like, if Miami wins, is the ACC the better conference? I mean, you want to talk about top heavy. You know what I mean? And I think now with there being so many spots to get in, that whole narrative of, look, the reason why the bias before was because, and again, this is where I know people got frustrated, that the strength of schedule was so hard that they got more leverage. They got a little more, if you lost one game and you're in the SEC, you could get away with it and still get in. Now everybody gets in. You're going to have plenty of good teams from conferences. That's always been the case if you get hot at the right time. Yeah, go ahead.
If I, when I say bending the knee, I'm bending the knee like King Leonidas and 300. And there's going to be a Spartan soldier to throw a spear into Xerxes, okay? Like, that's how I'm bending the knee. I don't want to admit it, but I much rather have a flash-in-the-pan team nobody's going to give a shit about or even remember in 5 years that the Hoosiers won the national championship, big freaking whoop, with 29 super seniors that, they're claiming Social Security. They got their Social Security check on the first of the month and an NIL check. Then Miami coming back to prominence and relevance. I can't handle that. That's a no-go for me. And don't give me Don't give me it's better for the state of Florida. No, it's not. We need Mario Cristobal to get waxed like Oregon. Like, absolutely waxed.
Throttled.
Okay? Throttled. I want to look like like Georgia, what was it, Georgia TCU? When they just got clobbered? That's what I need. I need that.
Not saying the AC is better conference, just saying there is more parity than they would like us to believe. I mean, there's plenty of parity. I mean, go watch. You have this is a 10 seed. You have basically the final spot that got in. This team wasn't supposed to be in the playoffs. Miami Hurricanes making.
I mean, this is your Cinderella story, I guess, kind of.
I mean, you only have one of the Final Four teams that was in the Final Four. Your top 4 teams didn't even make it, besides Indiana. Oregon was 5. Ole Miss was, 7 or 6? And, of course, Miami was 10. I mean, you want to talk about you had it. You had it parity tenfold. And who knows if you would have given us 12 proper top 12 teams? Who knows what would have happened? Who knows what would have happened? Because Oregon, who knows if Oregon gets by? Squeaks by Notre Dame if they're the 12th seed. Who knows if Ole Miss squeaks by BYU? Because that's a hell of a first round game. I'm telling you what, like there's more parity than we're even. They're not even.
All Notre Dame had to do is join the ACC last year. They would have got a conference championship for their first year and into the playoffs. But no, the Dome heads are too proud and too dumb.
Snow on the ground out there.
Yeah, there's snow. We have snow.
I got frost. $5 from Richard Stokes. I think the 16-team playoff should be play-ins. The 2 best G5 championship teams play the 13th and 14th team. Then boom, we start 12-team playoff. Like we said, we talked about just do a play-in for those 2 spots. So you'd have your natural 12 seeds and then have the other 4 spots be playing games. 45-17 Indiana over Miami. Miami. I love it.
Yeah, 904 Hurricane. Yeah, it's biased. I'm a Florida fan. Those are my colors. Okay? Dummy? Yeah, I'm going to be biased. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You think I want to watch the U Part 3 on ESPN, Doc? No.
We've previewed Miami a lot this year. We've talked about them a lot, and we've picked them to lose their first 2 games in the playoffs this year as well too. What was our reasoning the first time? I thought it was going to be a tight battle between the trenches. We were pretty spot on, I would say, with the Miami A&M game. I said whoever has the lead last wins, which was Miami, because I didn't trust either quarterback to get it done.
We said that the quarterback that literally threw the
the quarterback that had to make the game-winning drive would blow it, and that was exactly what happened. Yeah, exactly. So we weren't necessarily wrong. We just thought that maybe A&M would have the lead because I didn't think Carson Beck would do it. I mean, Carson Beck didn't do anything, but he did that. Look, that was what they needed, to not do anything, meaning don't make any mistakes and don't do anything good. Just exist. Just be there for us. And then again, same thing. Ole Miss, that was a great game they played. I felt they were better. I think they were a better team than Ole Miss, but Ole Miss, I don't even know how Ole Miss even did what they did, because I feel like they were getting bullied the entire time. This is by far going to be the best team. And I mean, could you argue, is it the best team that either team will have played? Do we think Ohio State's better than Miami? I mean, in a weird sense, even though Miami is the 10th seed, they've had flashes. The Beck is I would say their only weak spot. I mean, their trenches are phenomenal.
I think I would have to say that what quarterback do we trust the most in college football at this point?
Well, I trust.
I don't trust Beck. I trust Mendoza more than I trust Beck. Who was the other good quarterbacks? We didn't trust Marcel Reed. We knew he was a liability. Julian Sayin the same way. We were kind of wondering.
We trusted Trinidad.
We trusted Trinidad, which he didn't disappoint.
I didn't trust the trenches.
We didn't trust the Oregon quarterback by a mile. We were like, which that showed out. So when you break it down, I mean, you would think that IU would be the best team, probably, that Miami would have played. When it comes to the trenches, we think Miami has the best trenches, so this is probably the best 2 teams. Like, legit.
No, I mean, I mean,
and this is probably the best two teams that they've played this year.
Yeah, I mean, you have two matchups coming to a head where it's like, I think what Miami is going to be able to show Indiana, they haven't faced, and from a trenches perspective, and I just think from a fundamentally sound football team, that's where I think just how clean Indiana has played. It's gonna be the best quarterback that Miami has played. It's gonna be the most sound football team that Miami has played. I think, again, I don't from a trenches perspective. I think that Ohio State does a pretty bang up job, and I think that Indiana handled their own on that one, right? I took the over, but I could see this being a fight. To be quite honest with you, here's my thing. Carson Beck hasn't had to be truly tested outside that Ole Miss game, which, look, Tony did a phenomenal job there. I don't see Kurt Singetti letting Tony do what Tony's been doing.
He's going to be taken away. They're going to take him away.
And I think if that happens, like if you go like, hey, like who's Indiana's guy? They're all of them.
And all the running backs good, yeah.
All of them.
Yeah. But Miami can just turn around and feed the ball to their big back.
Are you at the watch party tonight, or are you bailing out?
No, I'm off.
Oh, that's right, because it's a holiday. That's right.
Yeah, I get paid day off, bub.
Show goes on. Look, I'll tell you, I have Indiana minus 7.5 in the over. Okay, so my money is, I put my money where my mouth is.
I don't think 2 weeks ago. I don't think Indiana has faced their defense has faced a trench like this on the offensive line. We'll know third quarter.
And I would say they did a great job this entire playoffs by getting pressure. Their DB play has been electric. Now, and I would argue that they've played some of the best wide receivers in football between Ohio State and Oregon. Way better than what Miami's going to throw at them. And their DBs were, now, they could get pressure, though. So that was a huge factor as well. Now, Fernando hasn't really felt a lot of pressure either. Yeah. And I think that this Miami D front will probably provide some pressure. So there is a part of this game that we haven't seen that Miami could expose from Indiana.
Well, there's two parts of this game that we haven't seen. Is IU deep enough on the defensive line, or is it going to look like Ole Miss at the fourth quarter when their linemen are laying on the turf trying to catch a breath, faking injuries, just trying to catch a breath because they're not deep enough? That's my question with IU. Are they going to be deep enough on the defensive line? It's no other question anywhere else. Are they deep enough on the defensive line, or is Miami going to be able, Carson Beck going to be able to turn around and hand Bowie the ball? And that, they have a hammer in Fletcher, and they love going 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 yards a tote, and they will do it the entire time. My only question is with the play caller with Miami, is he going to go back to his old ways? And we saw it a little bit when you could literally just drive it down their throat. Are you going to have Carson Beck throw the game? Because if try to win it, because if that happens, I think that you lose that game against IU's defense.
I think they've managed him pretty well, but that final drive, I think you and I was like, you could have just ran the ball and you probably would have had less of a cardiac arrest happening.
Yeah.
So I see, but you can't rely on it. The spread right now for the game tonight is still 7.5. Hasn't moved.
Looking slim. Appreciate it, guys.
You look good, bub. Beck is due. Again, I think there is a factor, though, that we haven't, like I said, I don't think Indiana has really faced any turbulence, any adversity, which is fine. I mean, if you don't face it, it is what it is. But I think if I'm Miami, it's like, how can we get them behind the 8 ball? Because Indiana's done a great job of just controlling every game they've played in. Time of possession, like they have dictated where you're going to go. And Miami does a good job of that. Miami does a very good job of that. They've done that this entire playoff run, because that's why they've won, because they have dictated it and have allowed it to fall into their lap. They want the game to go slow, right? They want to suffocate you like a boa constrictor type and just run it and beat you where they know where their strength is and bring you into their game, right? And that's where Indiana has done a good job. So you got the two best teams going at it. Who is going to prevail? If the edge goes all to Indiana, if you're talking coach, if you're talking quarterback play.
I don't have the edge going completely at all to Indiana, and here's why.
Well, running back, no, and trenches probably not, but I don't know how much of an edge they have in those rooms comparatively. I think coach edge and quarterback edge is bigger in favor for Indiana. I think that's where I guess more so what I was referring to.
I think it's going to be a gamble for Miami, but I think Miami could pick off Mendoza multiple times. And here's why. They dropped 5 against Ole Miss. What does Indiana love to do? What does Indiana love to do? They love to throw a back shoulder fade. You don't think Coach Harris have had them DBs working on that back shoulder fade to cheat up and yank that ball? And if you yank one on back shoulder fade, baby, it's a pick 6. That's my only worry. That's always been their kind of go-to thing. And it is going to that back shoulder fade, which it works a lot. But when the DBs are expecting it and they dropped 5 against Ole Miss, I don't think they dropped 5 against IU. I don't see that happening. I mean, that's just a bad luck day. I don't see that happening, in the biggest game at home, close to Miami, Florida as you can get for a national championship. I don't see that happening.
Yeah, and look, I think this comment here, from what I understand, IU lacks depth. They only played 28 players on both sides of the ball. I mean, I heard the defense only takes 2 guys, which is wild. But look, I mean,
the best 22.
Yeah, it's worked for them though, and they've played some dogfight games. But like I've said, they've controlled it. But that Oregon game the first time around was very close. The Penn State game, so they've been in these moments where they've been pressured. I think Penn State probably gave you the best blueprint of how to beat them, because Penn State had a very talented football team on paper and wore them down. And that's my thing, is that Indiana has been running on such just a full-blown cylinder that if you can disrupt that a little bit, like if I'm Miami and I get the ball first, I want 10 minutes off the clock. And then, hey, you go to take 10 minutes off the clock, you tell your defense, I need the ball back stat. 1 first down at least, at most. 1 first down. If that happens, this game will get ugly quick. If I'm Miami, that's the game plan. As quickly as possible, dry them, get the ball back, and then dry them again, right? Run them again. And that's where you're going to be able to have success. So,
well, and Miami has been able to use tempo too, especially in that run game. We saw it against Florida, where they get that offensive line pushing, and they're just gonna run dive, counter dive over and over and over until the Hurricanes are in the end zone. And we've seen whole drives. We saw a couple drives this year of Miami football where they ran. It was like 11-play drive. They ran 11 times, and I think that you start doing that to IU, I think it could cause some problems, especially with how thin they are on the defensive line up front.
Should be fun tonight to see our theories either unfold, or if either way we're going to see what we've talked about come to conclusion. What's your final picks?
Give me IU by 7.
Is that what what do you want, or what do you think?
It's what I want.
Okay, what do you think?
Miami.
Oh, huh?
Miami by 14.
Wow!
I think a pick 6. I think Miami gets a pick 6 with the DBs, and I think that they put the final drive end with Miami just running the ball and pounding the rock, and IU can't stop them.
Wow!
And they go at 14.
Unbelievable! I'm taking the Hoosiers.
But I'm not willing to bend the knee. I'm not bending the knee. Dang it!
To the Big Ten or who?
Just crouching down a little bit. Crouching down a little bit.
All right. $5. Change the spring game to a cupcake game and turn bowl games into rivalry games. The bowls could rotate every year for companies' exposure. I don't hate it. So basically, that last week of the year become the bowl games. That's kind of lit. It's kind of a good idea. Look at that.
Get it by 24?
All the committee that needs is just the chat in there, No conference title should equal no playoff. I mean, listen. Well, then we wouldn't have had the last spot. Who would have got it? Because everyone else is sitting on the outside. Well, I guess Duke.
Duke?
Yeah, Duke.
What could have been?
Let's be real. SEC 10 titles. Little 10 has 5. Catch up, Little 10. Go Gators and win. #6 Hoosiers.
I like it.
I love it. Let the numbers speak. Since 2000, SEC 16 titles. Littleton has 5. Catch up, Littleton. Go Gators. Mr. Wiggs. Just wanted to get his point across. I love it. The Chi-Town going to be like the OSU game. This Chi-Town. Going to be like the OSU game. Tony had 5 catches for 15 yards that game. IU goes 13 deep on defense. Let's see if they can hang. Yeah, so there's his point. There's his point. Yeah, they just ran the shit out of the ball against OU. Also, 20 players had the flu. Everyone is healthy. On Miami's team? $2 for Marcus.
Whoa.
What?
What happened?
What?
Miami sick?
I don't know.
Flu game? Oh,
I
wish I had known that before. IU
wins by 7 or 10. Miami by 9 from Colt. Let's see who else.
They had the flu.
Oh, that is a good point. Eliminating the spring game because anti-fan because it will became anti-fan because it will be a paid game if you schedule Cookie. That's true. There is something special about the spring game. We talked about it last time where look, people who can't afford to go to a regular game get to go to that game, and it's fun. Like
it breeds baby Gators. That's exactly what it does.
B-Man's coming this year, so I'm pumped. Yeah, thanks, Nick. Yeah, it was tough. Wife was in shambles last night. Yeah, Miami had the flu. Damn, I know about that. Tough. Indiana 27-13. Bohannon, I'm assuming Indiana 31-24. IU by 10. Miami by 3 in overtime.
Oh,
versus Ole Miss, 20 players had the flu from Miami. Oh wow, they already had their flu game. Okay. Let's talk about this here really quick. Florida Gators just absolutely looking back in their peak form in basketball, and I love it. We showed this little graph, and we didn't realize that it happened during the game, but this little graph was talking about teams that are allowing runs, and there's only 2 teams or 3 teams, I believe, or 2 teams that haven't allowed a 10 plus run, and it's Arizona and Florida.
Can you put the graph in front of us?
That's as big as it is. It's just showing you it's zoomed in. Yeah. And Florida allowed a 9-0 run to Vandy when they took the lead right at the end there. And remember, you were like, here they go on a run. And I was like, we don't allow runs. And it got stopped by 1 point. So the streak continues. We still have not allowed a 10-0 run since the season. And now this Florida team is being looked at as the team to beat once again. It's like this is looking like peak physical form. Ruben quietly getting 17 points or something like that, or 18 points. Remember he had like 4 when we were talking about it at halftime? I mean, just exploded in the second half. I saw a clip of Xavier Lee talking about him being in his slump the first half of the season yesterday. It was awesome. He's like, I was in the worst slump that I ever had. He was like, I had easier shots than I did at Princeton. I couldn't make them. He's like, and then it became a mental. I was just in my head. He's like, yeah, we're kind of finding a flow, finding a rhythm. He's like, we're the most hated backcourt in football basketball. I was like, yeah, because you're taking $9 million to suck ass, Lee. That's why.
Does he keep 99? You think? Have to now, right?
I mean, even Todd Golden was like, I'm gonna do everything I can to have him keep it, which I love. I love that it just like, I mean, like, you have to.
Yeah,
you have to. I saw a site selling 99 Lee jerseys. Like, you have to.
Really?
Yeah, like it's a badass number. Like, why not?
Can we clap it up about the young son hero here, Ruben, and just the amount of development that went into that young man? That guy couldn't make it to the second half last year. He was fouling out in the first in 10 minutes left in the first half.
I was super critical of Ruben. I loved Ruben. I was like, this guy's not going to make it in the NBA. Like, he has all the skill sets, the talent, but the guy can't hit a floater, can't hit a hook shot, and he just whacks at you on defense. Like, that's not anybody that when you get into the NBA, they're like, you put him in there, it's like, hey, we can get him out in 30 seconds. He would have never been a starter because he's too unreliable. Mm-hmm. The change that man has made, dude, he's made himself a first-round draft pick.
Yep.
No question. And if he keeps, he just keeps elevating his game. Just quietly, dude, his turnaround, he hit a jump shot that had me go through. He misses that 10 out of 10 times last year.
Yep.
10 out of 10 times.
Backing people up, hitting the little sky hook. I mean, it felt like last year you knew that thing wasn't going in. This year, they're all going in. And I get you got to have a little bounce to you, a little luck, but this is proven development, and I cannot say how proud I am of the young man that couldn't even. I mean, he was in foul trouble. There was what game was it early like 2 minutes in, and they already had to yank him because he had 3 fouls last year. You remember that?
Yeah, probably the Mizzou game because they were just bullying it.
Oh, it was Mizzou.
And here's the thing with Ruben. We talked about it a lot last year. It's like, man, I was like, we have these big guys that can't just put it in the freaking bucket, so we're relying on everyone having to shoot. I was like, if you just had a guy that could just, because that's how we were getting beat. Mizzou was doing it to us. The Maryland kid, Queen, was doing it to us. I was like, God forbid we had a big guy that could just drop one off every now and then, just feed it inside. But Ruben couldn't do it. Now you do. And that's the thing. The guard play is feeding that. And when they start hitting jump back threes, this team, I mean, it looked, I know I'm getting ahead of myself because I've been very critical of this basketball team, but with the way that Ruben's playing, with the way that Boogie played defense, his stats not going to show up, but he was lights out on defense on Saturday. The way that Lee distributed and was able to pull up, and the way that Isaiah Brown came off the bench and put a
Aberdeen.
Put a
better
spark
than Aberdeen.
to the boys.
Yeah. I was thinking they're crazy getting rid of Aberdeen. Man, Isaiah Brown is a spark plug
plug.
I mean, that's exactly what they need. That's exactly what they need.
Yeah, that thing had me fired up. No doubt about it. It looked better than last year's team. Here's the thing about last year's team. The team was obviously great, but they were the cardiac kids.
Yeah, they never put two halves of basketball together.
No.
Ever.
They just didn't dominate.
And won a natty.
This game kind of got close and was whatever. We never lost control of the game. Never really lost control of the game. There's still that little bit. They're making free throws. Look, Todd's impressing me. He got the boys turned around pretty quick.
Screamed about last year. You remember us like, oh yeah, no wonder we dropped 22 free throws. There's your 22 points. You need to dominate.
They were shooting 50% from the field. And this is the thing that, again, I said at the beginning of the year, I go, because remember the first game of the season, we're like, holy shit, this team is electric because the way they were moving the ball, and then all of a sudden it just went cold and everyone forgot. Take back what you said about Ivy Leagues. Maybe. Okay. I saw Slackman that spurned me, but he's definitely he's changing the tune.
Yep.
Listen, I'm a big Ivy League guy, big MIT guy. Okay. I just didn't want players from him. That 99 kid is the truth. Hey, walk-on's good. Walk-on's good, bro. Yeah. I saw a thing. It was like, that's what his overall is. Whatever shirt he's wearing is what his overall is.
Yeah.
His overall rating.
Keep the 99.
Yeah, they need some time. I mean, look, I agree with needing time to gel. The thing that I was starting to lose my patience on, it wasn't a gel factor. We have boys making air balls. Like it just looked like they didn't need.
Condon keeps dropping too. He'd get that ball, and you would hear air ball, and he would pass it off.
Shit, I don't want it.
Nope.
Yeah.
He is. You talk about a draft pick that has, for some reason, man, ever since the ankle sprain, he hasn't looked the same.
No, hand locked him too. Hasn't really came into his own since his gruesome injury either.
Need him to step up.
Yeah,
Herb's been kind of hot or cold, but he's had some flash moments where he's come in and daggered a three.
He's on the bench for a reason, you know. So
yep.
Zay Brown, keep doing that. We'll be all right.
Yep.
Yeah. Zay Handlock's a little soft sometimes. Yeah. Good show. Good Monday morning kickoff. Start off a little bumpy. Y'all be good. We'll see you tonight for the championship watch party. Who, sir? Cody the Prof, Shelton. Y'all be good. Have a great Monday. All right. It's almost over. Peace and love, baby.
The champ with the fist, swore to bring fire. Cowboys out riding bold. Bulls calling bets. Watch the stories unfold. And it's truly eyebrows running the show.